Hello everyone, this is Abdus Shah from Spire Podcast. Welcome back to another episode. Today episode is a very special one because we have Amy, the you can say a super woman in the Amazon niche because you can see one day she is in Europe, another day she is in Thailand or in any other Asian country, and another day she is live on a interview or podcast. So this is the future of Superman and Superwoman. Welcome, Amy. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Welcome to the podcast. Uh, the stage is yours. Please introduce yourself. I know you don't need to introduce yourself, but again,
Thank you for having me and for the compliments on calling me Superwoman. If I could fly myself or teleport, that would be a lot easier and I'd spend far less time on airplanes. But I'm Amy Weiss, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Abdus, for having me here on the Spire Podcast today. I've been in e-commerce for since 2007. I was in the military and I was selling my textbooks on Amazon while I was in college. And of course, that was just a hobby. And then invented a product and started a private label brand in 2017. And inventing a product is different than just picking a product on software that already exists and and sourcing it, picking a supplier on Alibaba and sourcing it. And I found that there wasn't really a firm path for people. There wasn't education about that. And so I kind of set out to figure it out myself and also help others do the same. And I didn't expect to become a consultant. I didn't expect to own trade shows around the world. Now I have a trade show in Mexico and another one in Jordan. And I also host China trips and other e-commerce events. I didn't expect any of this to happen. Sometimes you have a plan and God or the universe has another plan. So here we are today. And I'm so happy to be able to share any knowledge that I have. I'm an Amazon service provider partner, as well as a TikTok shop service provider partner, product sourcing expert, and happy to share any knowledge I have to help your audience along their e-commerce journey.
that's cool. That's cool. And yeah, that's why I label you as a superwoman. You introduce yourself as well. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And yeah, back in the days in 2020 and 21, I also learned a lot from your content and from your post and videos, etc. So yeah, you knowingly or unknowingly you came to the consultation due to your dedication to the niche. So thank you so much for that. Uh, can you tell us about because I'm seeing you a lot these days talking about AI implementation of AI in the e-commerce niche. So can you share your knowledge here with us about how we can implement AI and to the best use so that we save time and money?
Yeah, so I think the first thing for all of us to pay attention to is the impact that the growth in AI has been around for a long time. It's
Yeah.
just recently blown up because of the growth of ChatGPT and Google's, Gemini, as well as Google Labs, and all these, Microsoft also Copilot, Bard. We have Claude. We have all these different AI platforms and now generative AI like Midjourney and Adobe's Firefly is incredible. There's so many capabilities now, and not only can we use those capabilities in our businesses to really 10x or 100x ourselves, create automated processes, be able to do great incredible work without necessarily needing the training or know how to do it. So that's one side of it. And then the other side of it that I've been talking about at a lot of conferences and such, So one side is product development and brand development and business automation. And I've been talking about that a lot. But the other side that we need to pay attention to is that our search engines are changing. So Amazon is a search engine, eBay is a search engine, TikTok is a search engine, Google is a search engine, right? And now all of these search engines are being driven by AI. And so where we used to, all of us, we were so keyword driven and we were like, oh my gosh, I have to put these keyword phrases in my title. You probably heard me talk about that. Back in the day, I would always talk about listing optimization and what you needed to do to rank. But now it's different. And what we're seeing is Amazon has recently launched Rufus, which is the front end shopping assistant.
Mhm.
And the back end, Rufus is partnered with the back end A9 algorithm helper called Cosmo. And so Rufus and Cosmo together are there to really give shoppers the results that they want, new types of search results, not dependent on keywords. We're all being trained to have a conversation with search. When we get into ChatGPT or we go to Google Labs now, we don't type in red dress. We say, what do I wear to this fancy party? Give me suggestions. So we need to understand that consumers are being trained to have conversations with search, and the search results are now being driven by AI. And if we don't understand how AI reads our images, our text, our web footprint, our videos, then we may not be shown in those search results. And so we have to really understand how AI works. And we also have to understand how AI makes recommendations. And the way that it's easy to do that on Amazon is to start testing Amazon's new AI listing generation tool. So that is really a helpful tip I can give you. If you go to in Seller Central, if you go to catalog and add a product and you click create a new listing that's not on Amazon yet, you
Mhm.
will get access to Amazon's new beta AI generation listing tool. And
Mm.
what you do there is you can start testing. You can upload an image of your product and see what does Amazon generate for your title and your bullet points. You can prompt the tool. And what I love to do is I love to upload an image of my product into ChatGPT and just say, just describe what you see in the image. And I
Mm.
use AI's feedback and I put that into the prompt in Amazon's AI listing generation tool and
Mhm.
then upload the image as well, and the results are so much better than if I just use my brain and what I think Amazon wants, right? So that's what I'd recommend is people start really testing and playing around with these new features. If you shop on Amazon, you could go to the app and start playing around with Rufus, start asking questions. You should go to Google and enable Google Labs and Google's new generative search. You should type in questions, start seeing what products are recommended and why. Start asking your AI to describe images so that you understand how AI thinks. Start asking AI for advice on your business and how to show up better in semantic search. And that's really, really going to help your business.
Mm. Yeah, I think those are the very coolest tips, especially the listing creation one. So you are like not using your own brand for creating the prompt, and you're just it's like I was watching a video where a person was having a prank on two customer support agents. He called one customer support agent, and on another device he called another customer support agent, and just tied the mobile to each other, and they were talking to each other, and they were convincing each of them to their own product. So I think you are using the same with both AIs. So I think, yeah, it's great. So there are also some concerns of sellers. Recently, you may see in the community on LinkedIn and other platforms. likes. There is a there was Amazon feature. I don't know if it's still active, but it was it was doing. It was showing the backend data on the front end. Like it was showing that this product is the most returnable. People return this product the most. So this was the negative aspect, which people were complaining about. So how do you see AI with this approach? And same with the reviews summarization, like it was giving summary based on the reviews. So how do you look at this?
Yeah, what we're going to start seeing on Amazon and what we're already seeing is that we have little control over Amazon's implementation and rollout of their AI features. So,
Mhm.
first, we saw that reviews were summarized. Then we saw that they started showing how many of a product we're selling.
Yeah.
Then, which I thought for sure would really knock out some of the smaller sellers. I know me as a shopper, if I see this one sells 700 units a month and this
Mm,
one doesn't have anything at all, I'm buying the one that has 700 units a month, right? So
exactly.
it's harder for newer sellers in that way. And then, as you mentioned, the returnable, and even, now when you get your packaging, I got a package from Amazon today, and right in bold print on the front of the package, it says, save this for returns, save this bag for returns.
Oh,
And so, you know, it's unfortunately, we're getting into that world where we don't, as sellers, have control. And I did a video with Vanessa Hung, who's a great, nerd on these things. I just love her. And she talked about the new version of Amazon's flat file. And we all use flat files to update our listings, all of that. Well, the new version doesn't even have a space for you to put your title and bullet points. It says Amazon's title. So, it's really changing. The other thing that Amazon is doing is they're split testing main images that are their own AI generation. So, what they do is they'll take your main image and they'll just change the background. And sometimes they'll show your main image to the customer. Sometimes they'll show their new AI generated background image to the customer. They're also
mhm.
doing this with your bullet points. They're summarizing them with AI, and they'll show both versions split testing to the customer just to see what the feedback is. So we are losing, as sellers, we're losing our ability to put our own content out there on these platforms. TikTok is doing similar things. They're rewarding you when you use their AI listing helper, even if the keywords and stuff that they recommend don't make any sense. You still get rankings on TikTok. We've noticed that. So it's really, really interesting to see what's happening. And so, what can we as sellers do about it? That's what you probably are wondering. You're like, okay, Amy, you're scaring me. What the heck can I do about it? If my listing is now vanilla, it's now the same as every other person who's selling these glass water bottles. What do I do? I can't differentiate. You can still differentiate. Your product can look a little bit different, but what you can do is you can let AI be your guide. So if AI is going to be responsible for summarizing your listings and writing your listings and reading your images, what you can do is you can design your images and your content for AI to most effectively summarize it and understand it. And the easy way to do this, and I did a presentation at Prosper about this, the easy way to do this is to actually try with that AI listing generation tool and see what feedback you get based on your images, your titles, your prompts, right? And then also see what details, when you click next on that tool, Amazon's going to create like 5 bullet points for your listing, right?
Mhm.
Based on that initial prompt that you put in there. And you can pay attention to what are the details that Amazon's kind of auto filling. So in the case of, I did kind of a glass cup as my case study. And the details that Amazon filled in, first I put it into ChatGPT and said, ChatGPT, you describe it. I want to know what AI sees, right? And
Mhm.
obviously, ChatGPT's AI is different than Amazon's AI. They're two different platforms. but you can still utilize it to help you understand the contextual information that AI wants to provide. And so instead of me prompting it myself about this glass cup, I asked ChatGPT to describe it. And then I put that into Amazon's prompt, Amazon's AI listing generation tool prompt. And it was night and day difference. It was the correct category. And we see now sellers are getting their categories changed just from their images. And they're
Mhm.
like, what do I do? I just got recategorized to a new category and I didn't do anything and I can't get it changed back. So that's what we need to understand is if you upload your image and your prompt or your content to Amazon's AI listing generation tool and it puts you in the wrong category, you need to change something. So
Mm.
split test that, put that into ChatGPT or whatever AI you use that you're comfortable with, right? And see what it says. And then try to use that feedback, that data to then feed Amazon. And then when you click that next button, if once you get the results you want, you're like, oh, that's a great title. That's the perfect category. It's understanding exactly what I want. Click the next button. And when it creates 5 bullet points for you, pay attention to the details. So what I noticed when I clicked the next button is it put 3-inch and borosilicate glass in like every bullet point. So I was like, ooh, I need to add dimensions back to my prompt. So I went back, added those dimensions, then clicked the next button again. And wow, now the proper information was put into the listing. So this is what we need to understand how to do because this is our future, guys. This is what we're doing. If we're selling a product, we're no longer necessarily creating our listings in the future. We are going to be prompting AI to create our listings. So we got to understand how do we do that? We need to play, we need to split test the same way we learned what ranked on Amazon with keywords in the title and the different things that we did with images, with the second image being a video. You know, we did all this. We've done this before. Don't let AI be a threat to you. See it as an opportunity and go, okay, how can I learn from this? How can I split test this? How can I figure out how to rank in the new way and make sure that AI, Amazon's AI specifically, understands my content in the way that I want it to. So it represents me and helps me be recommended to more customers in search.
Mm. Yeah, I think this is a good approach. Instead of avoiding AI, that okay, no, I'm not using AI. I will use the um previous method I was using earlier. Instead of avoiding, like we can utilize it for our own benefit, and we can't enforce Amazon not to adopt the AI because we are not used to it. And so, yeah,
It's already, that train has already left the station. Like it's happening, right?
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So uh, I have like one observation regarding the adoption of AI by all platforms. So, for example, let's suppose Amazon, and it is going for chat-based search, like you mentioned that I'm not going to search for a red dress. Rather, I would like add that I'm going to attend a friend wedding and suggest me that what should be the dress. So, like with this approach, do you think that Amazon will face challenge for itself as well? So, for example, when someone is searching a red dress and they see hundreds of results, and there are tons of sponsored ads, sponsored listings as well, for which Amazon is charging them. So when we are going for the chat based search, then there will be fewest recommendations, and those may be probably uh, the organic ones. So with this, Amazon ads will like suffer. So ho- this is what I'm thinking. I don't know, they have much bigger brands, but how like they will be approaching this.
Well, I think that you're correct. You should be worried. Every person who has an advertising agency or advertising software right now
Yeah,
should be concerned and should be paying attention.
exactly.
Um, and some of them are, and some of them are, you know, really stepping out ahead of things and, you know, thinking about this Because the truth is, even if you look at Google Labs, for example, if you turn on Google's new generative AI search, you'll see that there's no ads. It's AI's recommendation. And so we used to be able to pay for ads at the top of search. We could target the keyword red dress. But in the future, it's going to change. It's going to be this kind of conversational, contextual search. Amazon believes the future of search is voice. And so they're trying to really train up Rufus to where you could just have a conversation with it and it's going to serve you up different things, right? So, number one, what I want you to do is a competitive analysis on you versus your competitors and actually ask AI, how can I rank better in semantic search against my competitors? Like upload your competitors' images, upload your images, upload your listing, and ask. I use ChatGPT for this, but ask, say, hey, analyze my images and my text, analyze my competitors' images and their text, and tell me how do I beat them in a contextual semantic search, and what exactly do I need to show in my photos? What exactly do I need to do? And I show this in my case study, and it's incredible. The way semantic search works is, if you're having a conversation like, okay, what works best for camping, and you're showing in your images, you're actually showing that this works outdoors, indoors, whatever. AI is going to recommend your product over your competitors. If your competitors are just basically showing the product and some infographics, right? So it's important to actually use AI for competitive analysis in order to rank organically. So that's the first question, is like, how do I rank organically when Amazon is just summarizing my text against all my other competitors who are basically the same? So that's number one thing you can do is competitive analysis, let AI be your guide, and then make those necessary adjustments. But in ads, the future of ads is going to be very different, and nobody really knows exactly what that's going to look like. But we can take a cue from Google. We can see what theirs is looking like. And I believe that ads will change in targeting. So instead of targeting keywords, we may be targeting different placements, right? Or we might be targeting different categories, like people looking for camping stuff, whatever. And then the search engine will decide where your ad is served up. I don't think it's going to be a placement type of targeting anymore. Right now, we can pay for top of search. I don't think that will be in our future. I think we'll still be able to buy a billboard. We'll still be able to do different types of advertising. But when it comes to like on platform shopping, I think our targeting is going to change. And we already see that Amazon's own advertising campaign manager is really getting advanced, right? It's offering all sorts of analytics that we never had before. Even we look at brand analytics, it's incredible the data we can get. And so there's cases where it's already basically replaced some PPC software that people were paying for, because you can now just do that right inside of your campaign manager. There's smart recommendations, how good they are. I've tested a few. They didn't work great for my products, but anyway, the future is going to be content driven. The future is going to be very interactive in the way that search works and conversational. So your ads are just going to be shown in different ways. And so I think that there's still going to be ads, but it's just going to be different where the search engine's going to decide on the placement.
Yeah. That's the actual thing exactly. And for new sellers, or for the even for the established sellers who are going to launch new products, what approach do you recommend? Like, in other way, how they can engage AI in the product development phase and then in the launching phase? Or for example, let's suppose we are talking about the new sellers who are new to the niche, who are get inspired after watching influencer video, who is sitting on a beach and sipping her soda and saying that I'm making $10,000 a month by doing nothing. And So what do you recommend how the AI can be implemented in the product uh, development phase?
Yeah, so we all know that differentiation is key now because there's two things that are happening. One is, and I have to put on either my Amazon hat or my TikTok hat. And those hats are very different because with Amazon, we have demand and search volume where we
Yeah.
look for, okay, does this keyword have search volume? Is there already demand? And on TikTok, we create demand with content, right? So there's so many ways to grow a brand now. There's no like perfect strategy. But what I would say is know your platform and what works on your platform. And then the same thing rings true that I've said from the very beginning is tell me why a customer is going to buy your product and not your competition. If
Mm.
you don't know the answer to that question, and I see so many people, they'll go on whatever software. I don't want to pick on a software, but like Helium 10 or Smart Scout or whatever, and they find these opportunities and they go, okay, Amy, I've got this. There's little competition. I'm gonna sell this thing. It's gonna be great. And I go, okay, why is somebody gonna buy yours and not the competition? In a world where Amazon says 700 of these of your competitor are selling a month
Yeah.
and you got nothing, right? In a world where you don't have reviews yet, in a world where, how are you going to sell that same product? So, where AI can help you is in a few different ways. Number one, to give you ideas, right? You could tell, for example, ChatGPT, whatever your favorite platform is. You could tell it, like, I want to sell water bottles on Amazon. This is a really competitive category, but in purple water bottles, there's high demand and low competition. The problem is there's millions of other sellers that have access to the same software as me. And, I want to be able to launch something that's a type of purple water bottle that people are going to be excited about. Give me some ideas, right?
Mm.
Brainstorm with AI so you can still use that very popular product idea that you found using whatever platform, but use AI to help you. And then you can use it in design as well. So let's say that I want to create the purple water bottle that is targeted towards the dog niche, right? I know purple's the trending color, but I want to sell it to dog lovers. So I
Mm.
could ask, hey, can you help me design a water bottle that, what are the most popular dog breeds in the US? And can you help me design a water bottle that will be attractive to that dog breed? Can you help me give, owners of that dog breed, can you help give me ideas for designs? Maybe you then turn that water bottle into one of those dog drinking products, which is also very popular, but you have a cool design on yours, right? So you can play around with different verticals. You're doing the same thing you're doing before. You're just letting AI help you. And what you can do is you can actually now create a visual. Before, we used to have to prototype, we used to have to get samples made from a supplier. Now we can literally go into Midjourney or even ChatGPT, DALL-E, whatever. We can create an image. We can go on PickFu and get data immediately. We can run a Pinterest ad on that image of a product that doesn't even exist yet. What people are
Mm.
doing now is they're creating Facebook groups and Facebook pages based on products that don't exist just to see what the engagement is. And it's crazy. So that you can get data before you even launch. You can get people excited and say, we have these on order. If you want one, here's the site to reserve it. You could never do that before. So let AI be your guide, use the data, great, but then let AI help you differentiate in a way that would matter to the customer. Let it help you beat your competitors. Let it help you be creative, more creative, and most importantly, let it help you make a visual so that you don't have to spend any money before you launch that thing to find out if people are interested in buying it.
Yeah, that's the thing, actually. Exactly. And how let's say someone is launching their first product, then do you still recommend that they should be going for the differentiation, or should be they going first for the generic product which are already selling, and once they get to know with the platform, they used to with the platform, how does it work, and then they go for the you can say entrepreneurial side.
Yeah, so I think there's all sorts of different entrepreneurs. It really depends on your risk tolerance and
Mhm.
how you are feeling about this. So I had somebody come up to me in Estonia. I was at Ambition conference speaking there, and I had a lady come up to me and she said, "You know, I really want to get into this Amazon thing. I think she was like in real estate or something. She was already a professional in another industry." And she said, I have a really great job. I already, making good money, but I really want some freedom. I want to get into this. And she didn't know anything about it, right? And so asking somebody like that, and she'd already procrastinated for over a year. And I'm not picking on her because so many people are the same way because they don't have enough information. And so
Mhm.
what the advice that I gave her, because I could see she was not going to dive in with both feet, right? Some other people that really, they're like me. I'm a rabbit hole girl. I'm a sponge. If I get interested in something, I'm watching all the YouTube videos. I'm taking 5 courses. Like I'm going to learn everything and then I'm going to apply the Amy method to it, right? But there's other people that they just want to learn. They want to learn more about it and they're not going to go into the YouTube videos. They're not going to buy the course, but they're just going to keep thinking about it.
Mhm.
And so if you're a thinker and you're like, yeah, I just want to dip my toe, then what I tell people is how much do you pay for a college education? Trust me, I've got 5 college degrees and 2 master's degrees, and I don't use any of them in my business. Those
Same
things
here.
cost a lot of money and
Exactly.
time, right? So yes, if that's you and you're just wanting to dip your toe, pick a product and think of it as your Amazon education.
Mhm.
Buy 100 units. It doesn't mean you shouldn't pick something that's like, has a little competition, but just set your goal. Like I'm going to sell out of these. I'm going to order 200 units. I'm going to learn the process. I don't even care if I make money. Like I'm going to try to make money, but I want to understand my numbers. I'm going to learn the process. I'm going to learn advertising. I'm going to learn how to create a listing. I'm going to learn. And who cares if you lose $10,000 in that process and it's a horrible product? Because at the end, you're going to know, you're going to understand your category. You're going to have uncovered opportunities. You're going to know exactly. And that's actually a cheap college education. It's
Yeah.
one that can really help you, get ahead. And you could probably do it for less than 10 grand. I don't know by the time you do everything. But that's my advice is it just depends who you are as a person and what your goals are. If your goals are like, look, I'm gonna build this brand, I've had a vision for this forever. I'm gonna do product market fit. I'm already taking the courses. I'm gonna get a mentor. It might cost you more money, it might cost you more time, but you might build a really awesome business from the start. Or if you're just trying to dip your toe and learn, go that route. Just pick a quick win, quick, easy, and go into it with the mindset of I'm probably going to lose all of this money. Maybe I'll get my amount that I put in just for my inventory back, but I'm probably going to lose this, but I'm spending it on my education.
Exactly. Yeah, I am also offering like consultancy services, and when new sellers, not sellers because they didn't start yet, but when they come to me and ask me like what should be the approach, then I ask them simply that have you did online business before, because online business is really different from the offline one. And if you're not, then first don't try to be entrepreneur, first be a businessman, online businessman. uh, Pick a generic product, not a generic one. Obviously you have to do research, but with the generic criteria, like it should be minimum 35 to 40% gross margin, and it should like meet the generic criteria of launching
Yeah.
a product. And once you launch it, once you gain the confidence, then the ground is yours, you can play the game. Then the product launching will be a game to you. The
Yeah.
ideas will be raining on you. So but for the first idea, don't try to be too smart, don't try to be,
Yeah.
don't,
And
yeah.
Even with people that have a cool product idea, or they're inventing something, or
Mhm.
they're differentiating in kind of a big way, I still, with the clients that I work with on those kind of things, I always tell them MVP, minimum viable product.
Hmm.
Because before we go spend $50,000 on a mold, like, can we just find out more about that category? Can we find a similar product? And maybe we can just change a little bit where we can test the market and get kind of some feedback before we go all in. So I'm a big fan of that. Even if you're going to differentiate and you're going to like develop a product at the start, I don't want you changing 15 things. Like, find something that's super similar. Like, don't change a whole bunch. Just launch something just to learn and get feedback. And then, once you have that knowledge, you're going to develop an even better product. You're going to get a better understanding. Where if you do what I did and you go like all in from the beginning on a completely unique, never seen before product, like, that's a long road. I was very proud of myself. I was profitable in the second year.
Hmm.
But that it was hard.
Obviously. Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned that you have two hats, the Amazon hat and the TikTok shop hat. So let's move forward to the second hat. I have limited time from your side, and I have to respect that. So, uh, how do you see the application of AI in the TikTok shop or in the TikTok? Because TikTok is also, as you also mentioned, that it's not a search base, not yet. It's more like a social commerce, and it's more dependent on the influencer marketing, somehow directly or indirectly. So how do you see it? And with respect to trendy products, is it still TikTok shop a place for trendy products, or uh, can we also consider it place or platform for established brands?
Well, that's such a good question. Very loaded. You put so many questions in there. It's okay. We're
Okay.
it's all. So
So,
first, AI. Like, how is AI playing out on TikTok? And there's two sides to AI on TikTok. There's the back end, the search engine side, where AI is being used to review all of our. You have to submit your trademark certification, and it gets declined like 50 times, and they're like, "This is wrong. This is wrong," and I have to open 50 cases and go, "Can I get a human to review it, and not AI, not a bot?" So we have the back end stuff that I talked about, where you have like your listings, and you're getting rewarded for using like their AI listing tool. And then you also have the content side.
mhm.
And I think the back end side is evolving, and we're going to see that really evolve with Amazon, with TikTok, with Walmart, whatever platform. It's going to continue to evolve, and it's going to be slightly different on each platform. But the content side for TikTok is going to be huge. When we think about, you can use HeyGen now to basically create a likeness like you, a face like you, and have the product right there and have it talk about the product. You don't even have to be there. You have live streaming platforms where you can go live 24/7 with pre-recorded videos. You have TikTok's own AI content where you can do AI voiceovers, AI filters. The future of content, especially when you can create these insane videos, these insane pictures of things that don't even exist that just blow people's mind, the deep fakes that are happening, it's, where we can use celebrity voices and stuff like that. Like, content is going to be a mess. It's already kind of a mess, but we're seeing that on TikTok. As TikTok professionals, we're seeing, and I mean, I hesitate to even call myself a TikTok professional because it's like such a dynamic platform. It's changing so fast, and I feel like nobody's an expert. I feel the same way about Amazon right now. Is just changing so fast. Every time I log into Seller Central with a client, I'm like, I've never seen this before. I'm sorry. I used to know how to do this. I have no idea what this is. So, it's like now TikTok, we're seeing the same thing. Like every week they're pushing out new updates. Now, if as a brand on TikTok, if you don't publish regularly on your creator page, they'll start deranking your products in search, right? And your shop might even get shut down. So that, like, all of that is changing. Creator requirements are constantly changing. They've reduced it to 1,000 followers to become a creator and affiliate. And then they increased it to 5,000 again, like the next day. And then they reduced it to 1,000 and then put it back up again. And we're all just like along for the ride over here. But content is going to be crazy. And AI generated content is going to be nuts. I think that the platforms are eventually going to have to respond. They're going to have to limit like live streaming platforms so that people can't, like, you actually have to go live from TikTok itself. I think there will be more AI detectors out there to determine whether this is a deep fake or whether this was like created with HeyGen or something like that. Because otherwise there will be no way for consumer trust to be maintained. So it's from AI perspective, I think we all have to keep our eye on content. And as brands, we also need to keep up. Our competitors are growing on social media super fast with fake images, everything else. And here we are over here on Amazon, just like twiddling our thumbs. And we're going to wonder what happened when all these brands go on TikTok and they're just like steam plowing our sales, because there's no better way to rank organically on Amazon right now than TikTok. It's easy. Like, it's stupid easy. And I used to talk about this with Google ads, but now it's TikTok. So the bottom line is, if you're not on TikTok, like, I'm not saying you should bring your Amazon products immediately over to TikTok because they might not work on TikTok. As you're talking about, let's transition to the next question is TikTok like a viral products or a trendy products platform? It still very much is, but we are seeing so many brands that we never thought would become viral, like Guru Nanda's pulling oil. It is now the #1 mouthwash on Amazon. It is a pulling oil where you brush your teeth with an oil. You swish it in your mouth, and I use it every day. I love it, by the way. but on TikTok, this is the #1 bestseller. A pulling oil, not a little kids game or a cheap mug that you could buy on Temu. It's literally this pulling oil because Guru Nanda grew and had used all these influencers to create content and got everybody just obsessed with this pulling oil, right? And now they sell over 100,000 units a month on Amazon. 100,000 units. It's insane. Most of the time it's out of stock. So, we're seeing people are selling potato chips on TikTok, like weird flavors of foods. They're selling, the hairbrushes, beauty products are very, very popular because they can be showcased, right? Anything you can talk about that people can have feelings about, that people can express opinions about. My litter box cleaner, my cat litter box cleaner, it gets a lot of controversy on TikTok because people either love it or they hate it. They're like, oh, it's stupid, or oh, why don't I'll just do this? They're very opinionated about it, which actually makes for a great TikTok product because you get so much engagement. So some people are like, oh, I love it, I don't care, I bought one 5 years ago, I still use it today. And other people are like, well, this is stupid, I can pay $10.
There is always war going on in the comment section.
Yes, exactly. And then that's more fuel for me as a brand because I can take that comment section, create a live video, and answer that comment, and it just drives more traffic, more engagement.
Yeah.
So anyway, the bottom line is that TikTok is not necessarily just a trending products platform anymore. It does matter. I have a free masterclass, a 2-hour-long masterclass at amazingathome.com/TikTok. You can click there and go to and just watch our free masterclass. We walk you through the different product types, all the things about TikTok Shop that if you're considering it, why you should or shouldn't consider it for your brand.
That's cool. I will mention the link in the video description, so guys must check that. So, Amy, you mentioned that it's you can't say it's totally a trendy platform, but it is. So, how do you see the products which go viral? Are they go viral by chance, or is there anything specific about that product or about that category? Or if I revise my question, then I want to ask that if a brand want to viral their product, then is there any hacks tips available in the market?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of a game of luck because
Honest
we
answer.
see creators like some people are like, oh, I need a creator with 100 million followers. No, we've seen creators with 1,000 followers create insanely viral videos about a product.
Hmm.
It's really about whatever the algorithm kind of catches and whatever takes off. So, what we recommend is from the very beginning, when you're trying to grow a product on TikTok, you've got to get samples out to creators, as many as you can. And you should do a creator brief to tell the creator more about your product and what you want them to kind of angles that they could play, because you know your product, right? You know how people have reviewed it, the feedback that you've gotten. And you want to get as many samples out as possible. With our new clients, for our TikTok shop services, we have TikTok brand management services. We do at least 100 samples per SKU that we pick to make viral, right? And what that means is like we want 100 creators creating content on this. And then we also hire a brand face. So somebody to actually go on your creator page for your brand and make regular content, because TikTok is pushing lives. They do these contests all the time. That's your advertising. If you think about it, how much are you spending on Amazon PPC?
Hmm.
Probably most of you, I've seen your accounts, you're spending 30 to sometimes 60% A cost. It might not be your tacos, but your A cost, right? And if you think about it, in terms of TikTok, you can give away 100 free samples. You can't even do that on Amazon anymore, right? You can with the new creator connections, which is cool. We could talk about that, but wait, TikTok hat is on. Um, but you know, that's what you're thinking. You don't even need to run ads in the beginning on TikTok. You can just send out samples. TikTok has a creator affiliate platform built right in. The problem is also with the growth of TikTok Shop, people have started using bots to reach out to creators. So now TikTok is restricted. If you're a new seller, you can't do automated messaging to creators. So you got to get those sales going. So you need to use platforms like Join Brands or other like creator platforms to hire creators to like create content for you. And then once you get that going, then automated messaging is enabled and you can start mass messaging creators. But the point is, it's volume and it's look. It's not like the creator with 1 million followers is going to for sure make your product viral over the creator with 1,000 followers that's brand new. Like they could do just as good of a job on your product as somebody else. It's all about the algorithm catching it and it just goes.
Hmm. So it's all about like putting our best effort from our side and let the rest of the thing unlock.
Yeah,
So
really. I mean, you gotta kind of give them a brief if you want, like try to set it up to get as much content out there about the product on the platform as possible and link the product in that content, and a mix of lives and just regular shoppable videos. And before you know it, you'll start getting some sales and one of those videos may take off, and then you can start doing ads, like run an ad on the viral video. You can start using those videos. You can cross use ads on other platforms. I'm seeing people using TikTok videos for Facebook ads and they're doing incredible. So if you already know that TikTok video did really good for a product, turn that into a Facebook ad. And then the thing that it does for your Amazon store is just Stupid. And you make so much more profit on TikTok. TikTok's
Hmm.
only a 6% fee plus 30 cents.
Hmm.
And TikTok does all these promotions where it's like, okay, if you offer up to 30% off of your product, we'll refund you for products up to $100.
Hmm.
Like, I'm not getting that from Amazon, you
Yeah,
know?
they have a 10% referral program, but still, this is a great one.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Great.
lots of like contests, lots of promotions. They really try to gamify it for you. It's again, it's not simple. I would encourage you to go like watch that 2 hour free masterclass, but also use platforms like Koala Data or Fastmoss to actually see. You know, those are like the helium 10s of TikTok. See
Hmm.
what's working, you know, and see, you know, how your products could work if you already have a brand on Amazon or you're already selling products. The crazy thing is we see products selling on TikTok for like even trendy products for full price,
Hmm.
like more expensive than Amazon, and they're crushing it on TikTok. And it's like in some cases, people don't even care. They just want to buy from TikTok. TikTok makes it really easy to shop because it's right inside of your feed. And people spend more time on TikTok than they spend on Amazon. So,
Exactly.
you know, you do have their attention. So yeah, I would just say what a lot of people are doing, what smart brands are doing, is they're launching products specifically for TikTok, and then you know they're growing their brand. They'll move that product over to Amazon after a while, but they're growing their brand that way, organically, by choosing products that are specifically going to do well, they think, for TikTok.
Hmm. Great. Yeah. I got two questions. These will be last two questions. I will not take much of your time. I already exceeded the agreed time, so sorry in advance for that.
It's
So,
okay.
yeah, the one question is that you talked about the content creation. So the question is, how can brands use live shopping on TikTok shop effectively?
So, live shopping. So, lives are very popular on TikTok. But what we're seeing is that live, it doesn't really have to necessarily be a person like talking. We have people, brands doing lives where they just have the product on like a 360 turntable. And it's just like the product live, right?
Yeah.
And then there's, you know, lives where people are just like it's in their warehouse and they're just prepping orders. You know, people like that stuff. I don't know, they like to watch people work or whatever. But
Correct.
so you don't have to overthink your lives, right? You don't have to necessarily you know, like it's always great if you plan them, if you see what other lives do well. You can use those data platforms to check out what does well for lives, what are the trending top live streams, and kind of use those pointers. But don't overthink it, right? Like the point is you should be going live on a regular basis, and you know you can utilize all those different types of tools. Like you could pre-record something and then publish it as a live using live streaming platforms. There's all sorts of things that you can do. So don't overthink it, and know that TikTok's algorithm loves lives. So just use it to your advantage.
Exactly. Yeah. I also noticed that people are now going more towards the organic approach. Like they don't want to see the edited videos and the flashy banners and or text is coming from this side and from this side. They want to see like the real thing happening just now. So I was also like watching some YouTube videos. There were gaming videos and like 2 to 4 hour long videos, and I was just wondering who is watching those videos, and they were having millions of views. So people just love to watch what happening, what others are doing. So, and you may also see that there are some viral videos where you can see that in China they have influencer factories. There are short
Mhm.
yeah, small cabins, and they are recording videos and showing products. So these are the trendy things. And yeah, just start from the whatever you think, what some basic YouTube videos, and then start, and then you will keep improving. Yeah.
For sure, exactly.
Yeah. And the last question, is in Amazon, we have a lot of different data points to measure success. For example, CTR, CVR, and other tons of metrics. In TikTok Shop, what are the measures? What are the metrics you consider is to success measure on TikTok Shop?
So most people on TikTok Shop look at GMV. That's like their biggest metric that they look at. And then really, I would say on TikTok, you want to look for the traction that you're gaining, right? Like in terms of, the same types of metrics that you use on Amazon, like your sales, your followers, stuff like that, right? Like engagement. But GMV is the biggest one that people are really tracking when it comes to TikTok Shop, because they want to know, like, what am I getting from these videos?
Hmm. Cool, cool. Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you so much for giving your precious time and sharing the valuable information on AI and TikTok Shop. I hope on some other time I will catch you again for another episode. I don't know when, but I'm hoping. Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a good day ahead. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.